Welcome back, everybody, to another chess video. It's been a while since we did one, or any other type of video. That's because I've been playing on a Discord server tournament, friendly one, a 2-day game, where I play one game against an opponent, and then another opponent. The games will be continued tomorrow. However, I promised to show you at least 2 games. I didn't know the format at the time. I was 2 games with one person, 2 games with another. No, it is 1 game with one game with one. And 2 games in total. Unfortunately, though, my first opponent could not make it, which instantly gives me a victory because he couldn't play the game. So I got a 1-0 lead from doing nothing. Now the second opponent actually made it, and funnily enough, his the previous match was him and another guy, and the other guy couldn't make it because he was kind of sick. And I was paired with the guy that did not get to participate and pretty much won his first game the same way I did. With it's called buy points, which is basically when an opponent or a player, in the manner, can't participate in the game and is kind of forfeiting the match, and the opponent gets the dub. I will show you a game. It's the only game that I played today. Unfortunately, no content today, but I will go in a little bit of more depth to make it a little longer and for y'all to enjoy. Yeah, this was really chaotic. I put on the engine afterwards, and it wasn't too happy. But it wasn't terrible. I mean, it was bad, but not terrible. However, we still won. I wouldn't sound happy if I did not win. However, it was a miracle that I won this game. Anyway, let me show you this game. It was a miracle. I'm not joking at all. The guy was 1500, I was 1396. Let me show you the game. Alright, so let's dive right into the game. Here we go. This was a French defense, but a THEEESE. Now the THEEESE has been played. It's a risky opening. It is a good opening for low level, but I mean low level, intermediate, really good over in that area, in the playing field. Another move I chose was c5, takes. Now, the reason why you don't want to take with the queen is there's just lots of checks, and there's just stuff that's just going to add pressure to you, and you really don't want that. Queen takes d5 is the more correct move, according to grandmasters. In all, situation, you gotta play queen takes d5 because it's more aggressive and more correct, even though taking with the pawn is kind of fine. Knight g to f3, which is one of the moves, and bishop d7 is earlier wrong step the direction. I apparently had to take here. I forgot the theory part, and there's also a very well-known trap. No, that's not. Is that it? No, that's not the trap. What am I talking about? There's a trap somehow that gambits the pawn. I had to capture, but now he gets bishop c4, which is not the correct move. Apparently, this is the better move, because now you're actually forced to go back, and he's going to clash down on the center. But bishop d7 instead, bishop c4 is still a good move. Castles, and b5 is a mistake, even though in my eyes it was really good. However, the problem is that he just plants the knight here, and it's a permanent stain in the position. And no, he's not going to trade, because the light square bishop interference is just always bad. It's not bueno. He plays this move, bishop f3, and I use the knight to cover. D takes c5, developing the bishop. And here, instead of moving the bishop, the only move that works in this position, and doesn't lose on the spot, is rook d8. Because, first of all, if he takes, that's actually better for you, because you either have the option to take this, or take this. I mean, if you take this, then there's does this work? No, it doesn't, because you do this. So taking here, still fine, but he doesn't do either of those things. He plays queen e2, stepping away. Knight d4 is apparently a mistake, even though in my eyes it was such a good move. The point of knight d4 is you're either going to take the bishop and just check him, and then decide what to do with the knight on e5, or you're going to trade knights, and that's exactly what happens. And c3 just attacks the bishop, and I spent a lot of time there. I was thinking on this. I was just betting money on this. This is correct, because after that I would go here, trade off the bishops, And I mean, I wouldn't trade the bishops necessarily because the light square bishop of black is really bad. However, it will land me in a position that might look like this. And this position, even though it says plus 1.3, it is still in the balance. Kind of, it is. However, he takes with the knight, I take with the bishop, take here. He kicks me out and plays this move. This allows me just to get out of the way and castle. But then there's bishop g5, and now there's lots of pressure, and I started to spend lots of time. Bishop d6 was apparently this move was better. Basically saying you can take the damage onto this, kick out their knight, and then consolidate. And if they start bringing reinforcements, you gotta play king h8. And let me tell you, this position is extremely terrifying to play as black, as white will probably go here. However, his attack is slower, and if he goes to threaten mate, then you can just block with your rook. I considered to go on king h8, but I had a slightly less dangerous idea. Bishop d6, interposing the attack of the rook by using, that's called interposing. Interposing is basically, let's take for example here. The knight on e5 and the rook are teaming up to try and capture the bishop. If I don't do anything, he's going to take here, either forcing this and then taking like this, and then I'm getting absolutely annihilated. Or I'm just going to have to do the top engine move and probably lose a rook. So we'll play this, well, hold up, let me go back a little bit. So we'll play this, bishop d6, to interpose. We just cut the circulation and the attack on the... And some pressure has been removed. Sorry for my bad English. I mean, even though I'm professing at it, let's ignore that part. Bishop takes f6. Unfortunately, I couldn't do anything about the knight. I couldn't move the knight anywhere. If I move the knight anywhere, I'm going to lose a rook. I have to take the damage to the structure and the extremes non-safety, which is nowhere to be found, but naked king, and try to get him out of that side as soon as possible. Knight takes d7 isn't the greatest, because that bishop is really not worth your money. That bishop is really frozen. Rook d3, threatening some ideas with the rook. Rook f2 d8. Now the point behind this move is that, let's say white goes here. First of all, there's this apparently. This is a little nice idea. Oh, excuse me. There's this. Let's say you don't have that. Let's say the king is on like let's say the king was here and not like, you know, let me show you for example what I mean. This is a lot more different. Basically what white is trying to do is bring his queen, come down here. Well, first of all, this bishop shouldn't exist. There's a lot of stuff in the position that might be just very devastating. For example, you can go here, very passive, but I mean you're still fine. Basically, it's gonna be king hunt, and even though black is better, in my eyes, that is just not safe at all. Rook d3, rook f2 d8, and bishop h5 is a blunder because of the tactic, but I just wanted to get my king safe. So king f8. Yeah, the tactic, if y'all were wondering, is this, and you just win a rook straight up, and I wouldn't have to engage in a tactical battle. Rook g... why is not working? King f8, and rook g3 is a blunder, but I pre-moved this. And then my opponent re-blundered it, and I found it eventually, because I had to start thinking. King e7, now people are going to be in the comments saying, why are you in the middle? Two reasons. Number one, there's no other place to go. King side, there's a queen and a bishop just staring down the file and the diagonals. Queen side is absolutely annihilated, and I walk into enemy pawns. The middle, however, the center, has like a bunker of pawns, and the pieces are here protecting the king. And actually, shockingly enough, this is the only check, and you can block like this. Yes, you can win this pawn, but you get a little too active, and you can win the pawn back in some positions. Like you can go here, trade queens, and if he goes here, then you can just attack the other pawn. And if he goes here, then you win this pawn. As you can see, we win the pawn back immediately. Queen c4, yeah, who takes the rook and damages his pawn structure. King in7, queen g7. King d8 is a mistake, but my logic was, apparently this is the winning move, the winning idea, and if he takes, then there's this, which is absurd to find with 3 minutes, 4 minutes on the clock. King d8 is far more logical. First of all, this is not a check, and even though I'm losing this, which is a miss, apparently, by the engine, there is... Hold up. Even though that's a miss, there's this move, which I would never, ever play this move in my entire life. King c8 though. Two reasons. One, there's not a single check. If you look at the position yourself, there's no checks. You can't get to the king at all. You gotta start a queenside attack. Or bring your pieces. Coordinate them. Like, play a rook move at some point, bring your queen, bring your bishop, and just be fine. But unfortunately, in this position, bishop f3. Rook d2, setting up a trap. My opponent had like 2 minutes on the clock. There's a nasty idea behind this move, and White does not see it. What White saw, with his little time remaining, was that this, let me show you, this is very bad. I mean, not too bad, but you get to trick queens. And yes, the position is still terrible, but that's a little bit of a threat. I mean, it's a little bad, but not too terrible nonetheless. However, this is a better move here. Apart from letting the thing just calm down. Try to find a move. Queen takes f2 check. That's the only move that works. And after he goes here, there's this move. And no matter what you do, first of all, well, I can block like this. Sucks for you, now it's mate in 2. I mean, there's a faster mate with this. Basically, you gotta sack your queen like this. You gotta go here. And you just win a queen, and this endgame is completely winning and lost for White. Yes, you can take here. I think it's mate, probably. Just go back and you start picking up the pawns. Yeah. He goes here. I mean, that's a ridiculous move to find as a computer. Basically, this is what the endgame will look like if simplifications are made. And let me tell you, first of all, this is a fork, so the engine is kind of messed up. It doesn't find any better moves than this thing. So, yeah. Unfortunately, for my opponent, he did not win this round. However, he played well. I mean, we both made tons of mistakes. Look, for a first game, I mean, the previous one was cancelled because the guy couldn't participate. And another one that my opponent was about to play was also cancelled because the guy had a headache and had to, like, lie down and rest. Yeah. So that's that. So tomorrow there will be a couple more games. Hopefully there will be more than 1 or 2. And I will get to make it to the semifinals. Yeah, I guess that's it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. There's a video dropping. Now, the reason why this video was so late is because the tournament games are very late. The first game is played at 4 p.m. my time, and then 10 p.m. Late. It's late. Of course, I have to get the video out sometime. So, yeah, that's the reason it came out late. I'll see you guys next time, though. Do not worry. There will be more games, I hope. But that's it. And also, I will announce some more things in the next video. Peace out.